So, welcome to my episode 3 Q&A. We have like quite the setup for this one. It's not a makeup video. I wanted to give like more thought and attention to it. Sometimes I get distracted with doing makeup and speaking. But then again, just sitting here not doing my makeup feels a little weird, not gonna lie. Okay, so you guys were the best. You submitted like really good questions and I'm so excited, and I love that you guys are like so committed. Okay, so the first one. Do you plan all episodes in advance, or do you just see where each episode takes you? I would say at the very beginning, I was just seeing where it takes me. I knew I wanted to do like the meeting, like Bryce and Danika becoming roommates. I knew I wanted to introduce the pack, and it was just figuring out how. And then when I realized that I dropped episode 2 with, alluding to meeting the pack, I kind of freaked myself out because I realized I actually have to cast a pack and I have to write Bryce meeting the pack. And then I was like, but what's the story? And I really sat there, I was like, have I just screwed myself over by basically saying to everyone, yeah, episode 3 is the pack. The pack's going to be there. But what am I writing? And I really had to like sit with myself and just try and like think about, that's where episode 3, I had to sit there and think, okay, what's the bigger story, or what's individual stories at this point? Because the first 2, they were so short that I could kind of ebb and flow a little bit, but the third one needed a bit more structure, it needed more story, and it needs something that the story can continue through episode 4, episode 5, 6, 7, however many we're going to do. And that's when I realized it would be really, really fun, as far as, Danika is telling her story about becoming alpha, not already being alpha. And I felt like there's so much more we can explore within just that storyline, instead of her just being alpha. Because at that point I was like, what would be the story? And I don't know, I just feel like this is where it's going to get really fun. Like, this is where it's going to get really, really, really fun telling that story. And then I had to sit there and think, okay, so that's Danika's story. What's Bryce's? What's Connor's? What's Thorne's? What's Natalie's? What are we doing here? Do we have other stories that we can explore, and maybe an overall theme? And so now I've really sat and figured out different stories, more individual stories that will kind of pop in and pop out for some episodes down the line. And yeah, now we have structure and we know where we're going, and I'm very excited about it. Oh, there's something in my eye. So yeah, now I plan them out. What was your process? Did you start by writing dialogue or have shots direction in mind? I actually start by, I would say now, episode 3, the first 2, not too much, but episode 3 definitely. I kind of sat there and really thought about the characters, about like what we know in Crescent City 1, 2, and 3, and then kind of backtracking, like who they are in those books, how did they become those people, what did they maybe have to go through, what did they maybe have to experience in the prequel to get to where they are in book 1. What steps do we need to take back? So I really sat there and kind of thought about Danika, I really thought about Bryce, and just thought about what I feel from even just the first book, what they would be like in a prequel. And then from there, then I write dialogue. As I'm writing dialogue, 99.9% of the time, I've got my shot list going through my mind. mapping out exactly how I want this to look, the overall vibe, colouring, and then sometimes I just can't stop because I'm in the vibe, I'm in the feels, trying to be in the character's mind, you know, while writing the dialogue, and then it's just a go. It's a go. With episode 3, I actually wrote that entire, I did change some things later on, but I wrote that entire episode on the flight home from Rome in June. And if anyone knows me, and it's so obvious, I'm so sorry, but it is so obvious, Crescent City is so inspired by Rome. I mean, the tattoo, being slaves to the government, like, I'm sorry, what? Even just that simple thing alone. So, being in Rome in June, on the plane ride home, I don't know, I was just in Crescent City everywhere. Just, I don't know. And I sat there and for 7 hours out of that 9-hour flight, I wrote the entire episode 3 episode. Yeah, I wrote the entire script for episode 3. Later on, I did share it with Devon, and he did tell me that the Bryce and Danika scene felt surface, it was a little flat, and he said that needed more. So I sat with that and just really looked over it, and then at that point I really started to think about Bryce and maybe as well, like I thought about even my own experiences. I'm not very trusting, blah 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 blah. And so I thought, you know what? These two, some people are, but I find, maybe with myself, it takes a lot to become friends with someone, especially when you have bad experiences the majority of your life. And so I was like, do you know, I don't know if I see them becoming best friends immediately. I want some friction. I want Danika to show Bryce, like, I'm here. I want to be your friend. And I wanted Bryce to kind of be like a bit standoffish and kind of like, we're just roommates type vibe. And that's where I then added a bit more depth to the Bryce and Danika scene. You need that friction. I feel like it makes their friendship so much more when you've had that kind of friction. You've had, can I trust this person? Should I trust this person? Is this person really there for me, or is this just another failed friendship? Am I just going to get hurt? I feel like it, down the road when it does blossom into like an incredible friendship, it just means so much more. And so I wanted to show that beginning of their friendship. Do you think we will get more episodes with the pack? Oh, definitely. Especially with Danika's story, I'm going to challenge for Alpha. Absolutely. And I'm so excited to explore even just the Connor and Bryce. Well, yeah. But within the pack, the Connor and Danika dynamic. Because in the Crescent City 1, he loves his position, respects his alpha. But they made mention that if Danika wasn't there, he'd be alpha, which means he got some fire in him. He's got some fight, and he has leadership. And so when it comes to being alpha, I want to show that he could be alpha too. I want to show that I don't want him to just be like, yes, Danika, you are alpha. That's not very alpha of him. So I want to show that dynamic as well. So 100%, there will definitely be more pack scenes. 1000%. I actually we don't know much about Natalie and Thorne. And so I honestly was like, how am I gonna write them in this? And I thought, well, right now they're there and they're going to come in and they're going to, say a few lines, but I didn't really know how to explore them as characters. But honestly, it wasn't until watching Ashley and Cal, our Natalie and Thorne, be Natalie and Thorne that I kind of sat there and watched during their scenes. I was like, I think I know how I want to write them in now. I think I know how I want to explore them now. Like, they helped me, and so I'm excited to even write them in more. So definitely we'll have more pack scenes. What are you most proud of from episode 3? That we did it. Honestly. That we did it. That it actually happened. And it's not that I didn't think it could happen, but there were some things that happened that I kind of sat there and I was like, is this a sign? Nothing comes easy. There's going to be bumps in the road, and there were bumps in the road. But I remember sitting there on this one final bump that I was like, is this a sign? Am I rushing? Do I need to take more time? There's something that's not quite right because this isn't working out. Am I not supposed to do this? And then I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm gonna do it. So, and then it worked out. So, honestly, I'm just proud of that we did it. Gonna get emotional. What were your favourite parts about filming this episode? I think it's not that the pack scenes were not my favourite. They were so much fun. They honestly were. But I was internally stressed that day. Truthfully, I woke up that morning with major, like, I look back on, I don't know, for me, I know my face, I know myself, I know my skin. I look back on those scenes for me personally and I'm like, man, I look so tired. I look so stressed. So those were fun, but I was stressed, which is fine. I would say my favourite part was probably filming the Bryce and Danika scene, only because when Shelby and I film together, all we do is laugh. Like, legit, all we do is laugh our heads off, and it's so much fun. We say the dumbest things. I think there's another question here, was what scene took a bunch of takes to film? Bryce and Danika's scenes. All the time, hands down, because we're crying. I have to go to the bathroom and like wipe my eyes because I'm crying with laughter, because our scenes, I don't know, they're just so fun. And so they're a little bit more relaxing. You know, I'm not stressed. It is a very chill dynamic between Shelby and I. And we have so much fun. So I'd say those ones are probably my favorite, because I would say it's not that nothing gets done, but it takes us a way longer. Then the pack scenes actually were, the Bryce and Danika took longer than the pack scene. Yeah, we like to have fun. We just laugh the whole time. How long was the process? Are you planning to do more episodes and longer ones? This one took 6 months. Like I said, June, on the flight home, I wrote the episode. Then I started planning, shot list. Then it was casting. Casting took a little while. We had a lot of bumps with casting. Yeah, so I mean, I think I've told the story, but I can tell it again. So basically, I found Cal and Ashley. Connor was a little bit harder, so I actually kind of like headhunted him, and I found someone that I actually knew, and I still know them, and I spoke to them back in like July, and they were down. They were so down, fully committed, super hyped. So I was like, let's talk dates. So it took a little while just with arranging locations and stuff. So we had a date in October. Beginning of October? August, September? I don't know at this point. I think it was the end of September. Yes. So we had a date at the end of September to film, and literally this person gave me the runaround the week before. I won't go into details, but I got the runaround. And so we had to reschedule, which is frustrating because it's not just that one person's schedule. It's mine. It's Devon's. It's the locations that we had booked. It's the other cast members. I had friends helping out with slating, lighting. So it's everyone's schedule. All because there's one person, whatever. So I remember bawling my eyes out. Not gonna lie, bawled my eyes out. And was stressed. And at that point, that's when I had like stress hormonal acne, like flare. And it didn't go away until it's still here a little bit. It pretty much went away after I posted and shared the episode. Since then, I've had it flare up. Anyway, so we set a new date in October. And again, should have listened to myself, should have found someone else, but I didn't trust myself. I didn't think that I could find someone else. A week before the new date, and I got the runaround again. And a bit of attitude from this person. And I was like, you're done, you're out, sorry, nope, not dealing with this, nope. I don't have time for this. And I remember bawling my eyes out again. And then I had to go headhunt. And I was going to fly this person in. They weren't local. They were in the US. I was going to fly them in on my dime. Whatever, they gave me the runaround. So then I had to go and find another Connor a week before. And I came across Carter, and I was like, hey, so, and he hit me back like pretty much immediately. He was like, this sounds so good. Yeah, let's have a meeting. Had a meeting. He was down. A week later, we shot. Here we are. And then after that, after shooting all of the pack scenes, I had some Bryce scenes to shoot. Then we had the Bryce and Danika scene to shoot. And that one took a little while because I couldn't find a location. I couldn't find a library. Everything here is white. Modern libraries, white. So I went to some of the heritage buildings thinking that they would, have some of that vibe. Nope. White, been modernized. Oh. So, I don't know why they do that. It's so gross. But anyway, so I got to a point where I was like, I'm going to have to kind of like buy tons of books. I'm going to have to build a little set in my house. So we did. So it took a little while, like collecting the books and stuff, That was probably my most expensive scene, actually, was the Bryce and Danika scene. And so that one took a little while. Once that was done, editing. And editing took 40 plus hours. So yeah, that was the process. More episodes? Yes. Longer? I think so. I think the next one that I plan to do will be either exactly the same or longer. Either or. Will you be doing the scene where Bryce finds the pack? Oh, yes, but that's like way down the line because that's Crescent City 1. Right now we're in prequel. So yeah, I'm just writing my own little prequel story that will eventually get to Crescent City 1. Oh boy. Just curious, are we going to see Ethan at some point? I'm loving your films. Oh, thank you. Yes. When? I'm not sure, but yes, but I'm just not sure when. Are you going to see Meet Rune? I want to say yes, but I also don't want to give too much hope because I know how important Rune is and I have to find him. If I can find him, when I find him, I'll write him in. But I'm not going to write him in and then kind of like wait and I'm going to do what I can with what I have right now, all while keeping Rune in the back of my mind and trying to find him. Again, if I can, he'll be written in. If I can't, I'm not writing him in yet. Can you just do the whole prequels, then the books as well, please? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's what I'm planning on doing anyway. Except I do understand the fantasy, like people wanting the fantasy elements of Crescent City, and I am not against it at all. I want to do it. However, I take a lot of pride in the quality of my work. And if I can't do those fantasy elements any justice, I'm not going to do them. So again, I'm going to do what I can with what I have right now and, keep learning along the way. And I hope that at some point, if I have the budget, when I have the budget, I will add in fantasy elements. I want to. It's just a budget thing. So, do you do all the editing, scripting, writing, and staging of the... Yes. Yeah. Yeah, no, I write it. I do the shot list. Find the locations. Find the cast. Stage. So do props. Yeah. It's so fun. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot, but it's so fun. Oh, I guess this kind of goes along with that previous question. Your videos are so high quality. Thank you. Do you use a production company? You're looking at her. I am the production company. Yeah, no, it's just... here's the thing, I can't really put that, it's all me. Well, no, it wouldn't happen without the cast, wouldn't happen without Devon, wouldn't happen without my friend Jamie helping with slating, lighting. It wouldn't happen without the restaurant allowing us to shoot there. It wouldn't happen without our friends Clay and Kaylee allowing us to use their apartment downtown to shoot one of the pack scenes at. So yeah, it wouldn't happen without them. It's just, a cool idea. But yes, I do, like I said, I do the writing and the directing and the director of photography and the props, locations. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I love it. I love it so much. I didn't realize that I would love writing, directing, even, doing all the shot lists and everything. Like, I didn't realize I would love that. I always just thought it's just the acting part that I would love, but I love directing so much. this is so much fun. Just picturing something in your head and making, and literally taking it out and doing it. I can't stop. I cannot stop at this point. I love doing this so much. What was the easiest part and the hardest part of making this film? Easiest part is probably wanting to do it. Easiest part is just an idea. Oh, let's do a prequel series. Hardest part was putting it all together. I would say not letting those bumps in the road stop you. That's all the questions that I'm gonna do today. Thank you so much for all the love on this episode, and for the questions, and for like being invested and committed and so supportive. I don't know what I'd do without you guys. I'm so beyond grateful for all of the love and all of the support. Like it really does mean a lot to me. Can't get emotional. You guys are the best. Honestly, I wish I joined Bookstagram earlier. I mean, glad I'm here now, but you guys are